Hello and welcome to your first video for Algebra 1. A few things that you want to remember. You want to take notes, try problems, and re-watch the video if you're confused about any of the things that we discuss. Today we're going to talk about variables, substitution, and the order of operations, and then we're going to do a few practice problems. So a variable is a letter, X, Y, M, N, A, B, any letter. It's a placeholder, so it's holding the place of something, and it represents something that we don't know yet. Usually it's whatever we're trying to figure out, whether it's X in an equation or H for hours worked, anything like that. So a variable is a letter, a placeholder, and represents some value that we don't know yet. So for example, if you get 2 points for each correct answer on a test, what would your score be in terms of correct answers? Well, it's going to be 2 points for each correct answer. So if you say C is the number of correct answers, then 2 times C is going to give you your score. So C is the variable, it's the unknown. You have to figure out how many correct answers there were. So now let's talk about substitution. Substitution is when we replace one expression with another expression that has the same value, so another equal expression. Well, what's an expression? These are all examples of expressions. 3 plus x, 2, 2x, or 3a over 4. It's a piece of information in math. It's not a whole equation, it's just one piece of information. So if I go back to that 2c, where c was the number of correct answers, and I tell you that c equals 7, well, now I have one expression here and one expression here, and I'm told that they are equal. So I can substitute 7 in for c. So what do I get? I get 2 times 7, which is 14. So substitution is replacing something with something that's equivalent. So substitution in sports, sometimes a player gets hurt and another player who plays in that same position has to come in and substitute for them. Let's talk about the order of operations. I'm sure by now you're all familiar with these 6 letters. Some of you may know them as PEMDAS. Some of you may know them as Please Excuse My Dear Aunt Sally, although if you don't have an Aunt Sally, it probably isn't that easy to remember. But what do they stand for? Do you remember? And for parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. Well, what does that mean? Well, that is the order in which we're supposed to work through a math problem. So the first thing we're going to do are look at the parentheses. Parentheses can look like that, but they can also be brackets. And you always want to work from the inside out. What about exponents? Well, exponent is like x squared or 2 cubed. The exponent is that little number right there. So after we take care of parentheses, the next thing we want to look at is exponents. We have multiplication. So multiplication and division, they are kind of like a pair. They're best friends. They go together. And when we find that we're at the step where we can look for multiplication and division, we want to go from left to right, just like when you're reading a book or a magazine or the internet sometimes, but definitely a book. So multiplication and division, we're going to go left to right and together. So you always want to do multiplication and division together at the same time, left to right. So what do they look like? Well, multiplication can be 2.3, that's 2 times 3. It could be 2 and then that mini x times 3. It could also be 2a, that's 2 times a. Or it can be 2 times a in parentheses and nothing in between the 2 and the parentheses. Division, I'm sure you've all seen that division symbol. It can also look like the fraction bar, where maybe you have 2 divided by 4. So once we've gone through all the multiplication and division left to right, we want to look at addition and subtraction. And again, addition and subtraction are best buds. They go together. And we're going to do them from left to right as well. Addition is going to look like the plus, and subtraction looks like the minus. So now that we have all of this information, let's actually use some of it. And let's see what we can do with it. Okay, let's look at this problem. Evaluate if x equals 3 and y equals 7. Evaluate. Value. Value. We want to figure out what this is equal to. What's its number? Where does it belong? So I'm going to substitute 3 in for x and 7 in for y because I was told that they are equal. So what do I get? I get 4 plus 3 plus 7. And now I want to make sure that I don't have any parentheses, exponents, multiplication, or division, which I don't. So I'm going to work from left to right and do my addition. So first I'm going to do 4 plus 3, which is 7. So now I have 7 plus 7, and 7 plus 7 is 14. So my answer is 14. So the value of 4 plus x plus y, when x is 3 and y is 7, is 14. Let's do another one. Alright, what if I want to simplify 3 plus 5 plus 8 times 2 divided by 4? Well, simplify means to make it more simple, which is to get it down to as few terms as possible. So each of these, this 3, this 5, this 8, this 2, this 4, those are each terms. So I want to get it as simplified as possible, as few terms as possible. So how am I going to do that? Well, I'm going to do the order of operations. Do I have any parentheses? No. Do I have any exponents? Nope. What about multiplication or division? Well, yeah, I've got multiplication and division. So I'm going to do those left to right. So first I'm going to bring down that 3 plus 5 and that plus, and I'm going to do 8 times 2. Well, 8 times 2 is 16, so I'm going to bring down 16. And then I have the divided by 4. And so now I'm going to look at this new statement, 3 plus 5 plus 16 divided by 4. No parentheses, no exponents, no multiplication, but I do have that division. So I'm going to do that 16 divided by 4. So I bring down that 3 plus 5 plus. And what's 16 divided by 4? But 4. And now I'm just going to do that addition again, left to right. So I get 8 plus 4, and then 8 plus 4 is 12. So at first I'm going to ask you to show me each step, but eventually you won't have to show me the steps. I'll know that you know how to do them. Alright, what if I have simplify 8 times 3 plus 4? So the first thing I want to do is look and see, do I have any parentheses? Well, I do. I have parentheses around the 3 plus 4, so I want to take care of that first. So I'm going to bring down my 8. I am going to bring down those parentheses, mostly just as kind of a placeholder. And 3 plus 4 is 7. So now what do I have? I have 8 parentheses 7. Well, if you remember, that really means multiplication. So 8 times 7 is 56. Alright, how about this one? 10 minus bracket 10 divided by parentheses 8 minus 3 end parentheses end bracket. Well, do I have parentheses? Yes, I have two pair. So remember, I'm going to start from the inside. So first I'm going to do this 8 minus 3. So I'm going to bring everything else down. So that's 10 minus the bracket, 10 divided by the parentheses in that bracket. And what is 8 minus 3? Well, it's 5. So now I'm going to take care of this portion. And so I'm going to bring down the 10 minus in the bracket. And what is 10 divided by 5? Well, it's 2. And what is 10 minus 2? 8. So notice I followed the order of operations to get 8. Okay, so this time I want you to try the problem first, and then we'll do it together. So the problem is to simplify. 18 minus bracket 52 divided by 7 plus 6 in parentheses. So take your time, make sure you follow the order of operations, and work from the inside out when you have more than one set of parentheses. And I'm just going to take this moment to remind you that I will be checking notebooks at random times to make sure that you are keeping up with your notes and watching the videos. It's very important that you watch these videos. And I will try to spice things up every now and then. I have lots of lame math jokes for your enjoyment. Alright, so do you at least have the first step? And where did you start? Hopefully everyone started right here and did the 7 plus 6. So that first step is going to be 18 minus 52 divided by, well, 7 plus 6 is 13. So now I have 18 minus 52, and that's divided by, but you don't see those dots. I do apologize for that. If you went too far, I do apologize. Hopefully you did it in pencil. And extra practice never hurt anybody. So now, where do you go from here? What do you do? Well, hopefully you're yelling at your computer, missed answer. You do 52 divided by 13. And so then you get 18 minus 4. And then 18 minus 4 is 14. Alright, so now that you're done watching the videos, if you want to, you can watch them again, but you need to go and answer the 5 questions that I have for you. It's called Video 1 Questions, and it's listed under quizzes.